Good evening. I'm going to open the July 17th, 2023 meeting of the Fire District Prudential Committee. First order of business is roll call. Mark?
Here.
Ray? Here. Seth?
Here.
Charlie?
Present.
Fran Parkson, present. We stand for a pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and one nation, one God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Is there any public comment?
I don't see anyone raising hands.
Minutes are going to be delayed, so we can take care of those at our next meeting. So,
Yeah.
the treasurer.
Yes, ma'am. F-23 is finished. The revenue performance was overwhelming. But on the expenditure side, we have two deficits that I have to report. I obviously was too conservative in the use of the reserve fund, particularly in the fire department overtime. There was some last minute expenditure, and we ended up 4,600 and change over the budget. That would be an horrible variance in the tax recap, along with another variance in the freedom hall. A very minor, $200. Both of these are going to the tax recap to become part of the tax levy. But I'm really going to have material impact on that's the rate that we portray to the taxpayers at the end of this meeting. Lesson learned, I can be a little bit more aggressive when I use that reserve fund, or recommend you use the reserve fund, so we don't end up with this small, really little deficits that we have to report. Tax
Ray, just to be clear, that those two items, well, the fire department budget overall is within the budget, but that particular item is unopened.
right,
We can't use the reserve fund at this point.
no, you can, on the 630. I don't want you to know, on a virtual basis. Actually, is another area we didn't meet our goal. We fell about $98,000 short of our budget in the tax revenue. About 114 actually was short on the levy. That will roll over, of course, into next year, and so we have a loss set up. Have the opportunity to reflect that next year, barring any abatements and refunds issued by the town again. A lot of departments.
Your thoughts on why we were short on the tax fund?
I really don't know. I didn't see the other district. I saw some slowing up, but not to this extent. The only thing that I think could possibly be is that there are a number of people in tax dispute, and I don't have those figures yet. I won't get those for a while. And then withholding payment for the resolution of the dispute.
You know, offhand percentage wise, what 98,000 business?
98,000 of 3 million. I think it's maybe a shortfall of 5% in the tax levy. 4 or 5%, something like that.
And you're pretty comfortable that this is a timing issue rather than.
Not really, I'm not. We haven't had this much of a shortfall in the past. For the last few years, we've seen the town issue a lot of retroactive rebates. It shouldn't impact these because the rebates means you paid your taxes and you're gonna get the money back. It's a little unusual, I guess, it's the only thing I can say, I haven't seen this, to this degree before.
Once, sorry. We had this once before, it was 2 years ago? Where, but then ended up being county, this century, do you remember that, where they looked as if we had all this money outstanding? It was not, it had not gone out of collection,
You're right, but that was during the year,
that was after.
that's what that year, that was during the year when we had a long amount in the terms of the track. Yeah.
And any of those unpaid balances go to liens, right?
Eventually they will, not for 2 years. Ultimately, we will get collection unless there are abatements or rebates. And we'll find out about people in tax dispute, I'll find that out probably in the end of August. I'll get that from the separate. In terms of rebates, it's, as we saw for the last 2 years, we've been some pretty hefty rebates issued by the town, where we really can't find out why and who got them.
Why is that?
They plead that their system doesn't allow them to identify who got them. Which I find rather surprising.
Since they gave it to somebody.
Since they get some values. It was dispersed to someone, but their expenditure records it should show it. But I've gone to the collector of the assessment.
Have you gone to the new treasurer?
No, the new treasurer last week, yes, yeah. And remember, they also had a new system,
Yeah.
which 2 years ago was going to cure this problem, which it didn't. So, I think what I probably want to do is start pressing the treasurer on the fact that we've seen this game before. Let's not replay it.
Somebody knows.
Somebody keep track of this, these rebates as they happen, even if it's on a statistical record on the side.
So this 4 to 5% number, which we may or may not recoup next year. Will that affect next year's tax levy?
You know,
That shortfall is covered by revenue of other sources, right? I mean, you want to.
this year we're covered with other sources. Yeah. When you calculate the revenue, you don't reach back and say how much did we not collect. Where it gets us is in the free cash calculation. Because the outstanding receivables deducted, we have 500,000 from water, we have 90,000 from fire department, we have 20 to $30,000 of interest, all that will contribute towards free cash. But we're gonna deduct for that outstanding taxes today. And speaking about that, the water department will be over budget by about $500 and some $1,000, primarily due to the high excess usage last summer and fall. The fire department will be over by $91,000. After that, due to the annual Medicare credit that we filed with the state. Lisa files that application in the fall, and of course, this year for the first time now, she filed for $42,000. We got $49,000.
We got 45,000, I believe, right? but also that they approved the grant application for 42,
Yeah, I know. It's happening.
but somehow they gave us more.
They got more money from the state as years I have heard so far. We have the same thing in the other district. I think that's where we asked for 49, we got 56. So a little bit better over there. We bought that. So anyway, revenue overall, very strong. Very positive implication for our free cash calculation. Other than those two, deficits on the expenditure side, everything else is at or below the budget. In all categories. In fact, we will end up about $200,000 overall under budget on the expenditure side, which will add to that free cash calculation. On page 2 of the report, the articles, are all under budget. We received $150,000 for the bond issue that we just issued. That will go largely to reimburse the general fund, which advanced money to the capital fund. So we didn't have to borrow early on that. And in fact, looking into fiscal 24, I will probably, with your concurrence, fund the water main repairs out of the general fund, since we have idle funds there. And delay borrowing until we have some idea of when the ambulance will be delivered. So I can borrow for both purposes at the same time and avoid the cost of borrowing, which is now running a couple $2,000 each time we do it. All the funds for the capital are in cash, either in CD or in our corporation instruments. Once you full cash at year end, the auditors having and auditing now repurchasing T-bill and reinvesting those other funds going forward. Cash and investments on page 3 shows you how all the funds are deployed. Top of the line there, the good news, the OPEB trust is up about 15% for the year. So that is good news in terms of our trust performance. The stabilization funds are staying almost up with inflation, with CD rates running at about 4.5%. I'm a little reluctant to reach out to for higher CD rates because of the risk involved in identifying what bank which are doing business work and what the risks are of that bank. Sometimes you can end up with a bank with signature and those exactly. And then you should be tied up for months waiting for the government to sort things out.
Ray, how much do we have for term right now?
Right now, we don't have anything in short term. I closed everything out. By short term, we're talking about T-bills.
Yes.
I closed everything out prior to the end of the year, so I didn't have that mark-to-market issue with the audit. I'll start redeploying that. I have $605,000 of idle general fund cash. I'll be redeploying on the T-bills and trying to spread that out. And I'm getting in the T-bills, published rate of the journal looks like it should be 5%, but those are for the multi-million-dollar purchases. We're down to $100,000 purchase, and I think we're getting somewhere around 4.3, 4.4 for that, but still better than we're getting in the bank.
We have those in multiple accounts, they can manage the 250,000 FDIC insurance level, or are they?
It's the next T-bills, we don't have any dispersion in the cooperative bank, they have entered into an insurance agreement that protects anybody over 250. So we have that protection. And then the two bills, the government two bills. So that's about it on the report. So, any questions? Insurance renewal, I'll be meeting this Friday with the agent and the chief to go over the renewal. I have an original on the initial proposal that shows about a 5% increase in insurance from year to year. I don't have all the values set yet. The preliminary showed for some reason, the school showed up with a potential $2 million value, which I'll reduce that to probably around $1 million. But there are some auto values that we need to set as the way the policy is written. We only recover on agreed value. So I've gotten blue figures from the water department, we having those for the policy, but right now it looks like the general insurance is going up 5.7. Accident, preliminary incident sickness is going up 7, and our fee for monitoring the accident and sickness is going up 7 as well. The accident sickness will come down because we haven't used all of the $20,000 deposit, and we have not used and is free to release only 5 to the premium, so that will probably go down. I'll have the final figures for you next month. That is all I have.
So do we know what the health, what health is doing? Health insurance?
Well, they've given us the rate increase of 3%. Retirees were, recall.
4%. No, retirees did not go up. And that's as of January, but as of July 1st, anyone who's not on Medicare, their insurance went up 4%.
So all the medics people.
Did not increase, but they will increase as of January 1, 2024. So they will have some. They're on a different cycle.
That's if the committee decides. They set those rates in the fall.
Right.
And they set the active rates in February, February and March.
Thank you. On Freedom Hall, we would ahead. Mr. Nemec come and replace our smoke detector because it died. And we took care of that. I believe that's about a $350 charge. I also think we should look at refreshing the parking lot lines. They're getting kind of faint. Haven't had a chance to go back through the minutes to see the last time we did them, but I believe it was about 6 years ago. So that's all that's going on at Freedom Hall. The school, I have about our meeting at the school on the 15th. I have talked to Jerry. He's available to do the sound for us. Spoken to Mark Boudreau, and he'll be there. And porta potty is all set up for that night with.
And this will be at the school.
At the school, right.
Just so our audience is clear, we haven't officially noticed this yet, but we have scheduled which we can do shortly, an August 15th, 2023 meeting at the school about the school. And it is hoped we're getting some PR from the Civic Association. We hope to get this as wide, cast as wide a net as we possibly can for people who are interested. Mark Rigaud is going to, who's our town council, is going to be there for the important reason that there are only, because of our enabling legislation, only certain things that you can do with the property. Certainly anything relating to water or fire, you know, office space, a new fire department, anything like that, is allowed under the enabling legislation. We are also, as we understand it, allowed to acquire that property by which I mean the building and enter into a lease with an entity, which presumably would be a some kind of nonprofit. So to the extent that anyone is interested in proposing a use for the school, the August 15th meeting would be the time to do it. With as much detail as possible about regarding what is proposed, possible financing, etc. So that we're trying to get as much publicity as we can in advance of the August 15th meeting. So anyone listening on this call or here in person, please tell your friends. The transfer has not yet occurred. We are still waiting for, and it's been about 3 weeks now, the removal of the oil tank from the underground oil tank from the property. I'll follow up with David Anthony to find out what the status that is. It's supposed to be done in about 2 weeks, and that was about 3 weeks ago. Once we get a clean bill of health from that, we will agree on the terms of deed and the transfer will take place. At which point we will need some kind of, presumably some kind of insurance on the property. And I would like Ray to address that issue, what you're contemplating.
As I mentioned briefly, the preliminary renewal quote asks for one as an old value, but it is on, so I'm concerned about it from the viable standpoint. But if we were to hold a meeting there and we would not yet have gotten the deed, we would have to do some sort of binding.
If we don't have the deed, it's not our property.
Yeah, but it's
It's still the town's. The town presumably will cover it. We haven't had meetings at the school previously.
do we confirm that?
I will make sure that the town is aware of that plan.
So along with that, I would like to mention that there are several potholes. There's one near the school that you basically drive in and out. And there's no lighting there at night. People walk, people drive their cars. And it would be really nice if the town could fill in particularly that pothole, because if it's still there when we take the building, that's going to be our liability.
I will talk to David. I think his response is going to be, and good luck to you. You own it, you
You fill the
maintain
hole.
it, fill the hole, you want lights, put them up, knock yourself out. But I will talk to him about that, and about the meeting schedule.
So,
But to get back to the insurance for a minute, so you're gonna get liability insurance?
Liability, and I'll get property coverage and then cancel it. That's what comes down.
What do you mean in the cancel it?
Well, if the decision is to demolish it,
Then we cancel.
you cancel it.
Okay, got it. And deductibles, like what, the two things, what's the value we're gonna put on it? And what are the deductibles likely to be?
From the time being, I would say we put $1 million up. In terms of deductibles, they vary by different categories. So an example, earthquake is 5%. Flood is $1,000. And then for either of those events. Yeah. But the other deductibles, sometimes it's $100, it's almost by category, but by loss.
Okay, and then. Gonna say, is that open to negotiation, or are we comfortable with, we could get similar coverage, if, for example, if we have a Freedom Hall and we.
It's the same cover.
It's the same coverage. Okay,
It's just another building that we will add to the evaluation.
okay, and if necessary, we can certainly cancel it, and if we decide we're going to keep it for some period of time, we can potentially renegotiate deductibles, okay, but in the meantime, it will be covered.
It's got the same, when we do it, we'll have the same coverage as Freedom Hall, the fire station, all the water department facilities.
And the Nicholson building, the one of them, that's where the fire station.
Okay, that's, we gotta add that, we should do it, was an adding, was hundreds and something, but we're adding that. $56,000.
So just to put, put on your list, we're gonna need keys to the building. To the transfer and the alarm code.
Yeah, please, for the building.
Yeah, I know, the chief has keys to the building.
I'm just giving copies and then we listen to them.
Oh, okay,
So we have copies.
so we've got, do we know the alarm code?
Is there an alarm?
Yes, there is.
So,
So we need to know who the alarm is through, the code, and, you know, who to let know, and tell them that it's a false alarm.
I will start with Chief Brown, Matt, and yes, you probably asked that. So I'll start with you.
Okay.
Can we ask you for him to do a draft meeting notice for the August 15th?
Yeah,
I'll be doing.
work with you on that.
Okay.
I've already decided on the color that I want to use, but
Okay,
I want to, one of the things I want to stress to people when they get information about this is that this meeting, I don't think this should be a special meeting. I think this should just be an informational meeting, because, there are a lot of people who own property to it, but don't live near you, and therefore, you know, don't vote. So I want to make sure that the people, all Conduit residents, whether they're renting or property owners, they're part-time or all year round, come to the meeting and, you know, you know, find out what's going on, so they'll know. So,
and again, just so we're clear, the meeting notice will come out shortly, but it is what we're calling an ad hoc committee meeting, which will include the Prudential, Fire, and Water Commissions meeting simultaneously.
And if you really want whatever nonprofit potentials to lease to come to the meeting with a detailed proposal, it would be really good if you could give me the wording you want me to use on the postcard, as well as, I don't know if you, Mark Boudreau had given specifications and parameters for what is and isn't possible. And I don't know if you want to include that in the postcard, just so people understand their boundaries.
I think Jackie's already expressed to the people that we're talking about the nonprofit use for the building, that, you know, they need to come up with concrete information for us.
A couple of things. Are we doing a postcard for the August 15th meeting?
Yes.
And then we'll do one for the special meeting. Is there any reason why we should not reach out directly to people we know who have expressed some interest in using the school for one purpose? Or is that, I don't know if that's appropriate? as opposed to a general.
Days for presentation, request.
I don't even call them invitation for presentations.
The postcard will go to every single resident.
All right.
Edits. So, I'd also like, I had a thought of asking, the other two committees, especially the fire department, to do a write-up. So we can hand out to people about, what they're thinking about for use of the building. And, same, could be said for the water department.
Right, should, sorry, right, but should that be the, so I don't know if we have. Since we're kind of doing the ad hoc thing, we don't have a structure, should we decide on a structure, should we write an agenda now? When we have it, I see what you're saying, though, should we say, okay, section 1, fire commissioners. No, thank you for clarifying. But, fire commissioners, here's what you want to do, what's there?
That's what I was.
Right, and then section 2, water commissioners, what do you?
We are all thinking along exactly the same lines. It would be nice to have a consensus opinion from fire and water as to
Right.
what use they would have, and from water, what restrictions they are concerned about.
Their opinions on matters, and then we could set, as you say, if we can contact individuals or groups that would fall into the third category.
It's just one group is.
Well, there you go. Yeah. But, yeah, and then have that be the rather than having to be, that would give it more, right?
So I don't think it needs to be an ad hoc. I think it's.
But I mean, we leave it, leave it open to what
The
the
title
time
is
is
not as important as what it is.
because there'll be room for discussion, but at the
Yes.
same time, if everybody has it for a second. And that would make it more concise at the end of it.
And then after that, then the public comment.
Right, and we can find out,
I've already spoken to John about moderating it.
right, but absolutely.
And, we need to decide on how long people can talk, 3 minutes, 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Three with a 2-minute extension.
I would be open to multiple time extensions for a topic like
I
this.
mean, John did a good job of, he could probably do some, I mean, you could put a maximum of 7 minutes and say. That's enough, or say 5 and then the extensions, I don't know, who's the moderator, who's the guy?
I'd say 5,
I think it probably need more.
but then they can come back a second time, but you want to, you want to give everybody a chance to speak. So if you constantly give somebody a second, I think that's there for 20 minutes.
Yeah, I see that.
So I think a time limit of 5 minutes, and then, they could follow up if they want to after everybody's had a first chance to speak.
That sounds to me.
And so, I have 2 other things. One is, Rick Fasano would rather not come to the meeting, but so I'm trying to figure out a way for him to attend. And, I've been trying to look for a hot spot, so he could attend by Zoom, which I have absolutely no idea how to do. Which makes it difficult.
I don't.
The Civic Association has its own Zoom thing, and then I think the chief has MiFi's. So that they can,
Yeah, but we need that reception at the school.
yes, well, his MiFi goes anywhere with him.
Oh,
It's a
Because,
hot spot.
yeah, it's a hotspot. They,
it's a walking hotspot.
yes, it is.
They,
It's a handheld device. They have to be able to connect to the internet no matter where they are. All over.
I'll talk to the chief.
But the Civic Association does have their own Zoom meeting. So is it the Civic Association that's going to host the meeting, or are we going to
We're
host it?
hosting.
Okay,
And finally, we need some volunteers to move all of these chairs and the tables to the hall,
From here to the school.
from here to the school, right, and then move them back.
I can help you that one day.
I can
Or
help
not
too, although it occurs to me. I can see reasons why we would want to have this meeting at the school, but do we have to, or do we have it here?
No, I think we need them at the school, we can, I mean, that says we have a capacity of 150, but I don't know where they got that, but you have to have half of those people from the ceiling. pretty much the max you can get here is 85, and I think this is gonna be, more people that will be interested.
As a side note, has anyone been in there lately? I haven't been in there since we had the other. I might have got a call on once after that, but what's it like? It's gonna require clean, like, is there a raccoon in there? I mean.
Is there electricity right?
I'm just curious, we should have run the day to go in there. See what's going on. And they don't,
The side door that had been left open unlocked, and finally got locked up.
I bet there were kids in there for sure.
Oh, yeah, definitely. There's still those broken windows.
Well, we should make it, because they won't mind. They're not gonna call the police. We let ourselves in.
Yeah. The last time we did it was cobweb altogether. Cobweb attention and then that's some sweeping.
Yeah. I just imagine, I remember there was a new guy in the state that was around there 3 years ago or 2 years ago. I just, think of the worst.
Well, that roof is shot, but I can't find out that roof's ever been replaced.
Yeah, there's nothing in construction records.
So, so that's the original roof. 1956.
Well, what happened on
So we can probably do this before we send out the
Yes.
meeting notice. and
Right.
at least-
I have days for this week, I think, I'm not exactly sure when. What time, it's early today, but, I'll take it.
I think that's all I had for that.
So, and one question.
Yeah,
Do we, so we'll go from this meeting and then determine the date for the special meeting, the meeting relative to what comes out of it.
yes.
And so our plan process then will be wrapped up at essentially in that moment when we do this, followed by our special meeting, followed by the activity, whatever it is, go down the date. Yes.
If you turn around, you can read the public comment that's been texted in, and you might have some too. And John Gardner's raising his hand. John Gardner is raising his hand.
Oh, okay.
John?
Yes, yes. I've been listening to the meeting and I just want to make sure that I understand my part as moderator. At first, I thought I wouldn't have anything to do with this, but then when you brought me up or brought up the subject of having the moderator run the meeting, that's fine. I'm willing to do that. I would like to just make sure I understood everything because I'm on Martha's Vineyard right now and I'm getting that Freedom Hall echo.
Yeah.
Is it my understanding that there will be an agenda
Will there be an agenda?
Yes,
and that that nonprofits will have a chance to make a presentation?
Yes,
Okay. Is there a time limit on those?
yeah, I think, maybe 10 minutes.
Okay. And then for the public to make comments, I thought I understood a 5-minute first time frame for comments. And then after everybody else has spoken, that a person can come up for a second time for an additional 2 minutes, sort of like what we do at our special annual meetings, annual meetings.
Yes,
Okay. And the key issue here is that there will be no vote taken that night. This is just to share information, as Fran pointed out.
correct.
Okay. So nonprofits get 10 minutes. And there won't be another Prudential meeting before that informational meeting, the ad hoc meeting on the 15th. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. And the time that meeting starts, I didn't hear anything about that yet.
7 o'clock.
7 PM. Okay. Okay. I think that covers everything right now. I'll just get there super early, so in case I do have any other questions, I can bounce them off somebody that probably will have the answer. Thank you.
Thank you.
That's it from Zoom, but people in the room, I don't know if they have comments.
Well, I actually had one more before we get to public comment. We had great sense of information regarding this, what we currently have available. Because I think it's important for people to understand this as well. When I say what we currently have available, that is monies that have been approved through the board that can be applied to issues related to a school, from maintenance to assessment as to what we will do with it.
Before you said.
The top is the acquisition, that's the $42,000 left. I think actually gives you the articles if you want to read exactly what is permitted under each of those, and then the bottom part is the determination money. And that was broken into three parts. Again, that money can be redirected at the special district meeting. So those funds, as well as that $300,000 that was appropriated for the West Street tag for security and was duplicated by the USDA grant. And that was appropriated money for which cash was sitting on holding cash there. So that money could be redirected again based on district vote.
Okay. In terms of what is already established through district vote, we've got the 42,200, the 207,500, but of which 165,822 is what we should say under appeal. That is.
No, I don't think that's under appeal. I'm drifting on the legal area. The letter his objection to the AG was that we could not use the same architect that we had used in the original study as part of that $270,000.
That's when you're stating.
So if you were to pick another one, that objection would go away. And then you would have again another $40,000 that would be available. Again, I would think that would require just vote, because it said space study, and we're not really doing any space study.
Well, we'd have to, if it's decided that we can get a different architect, we'd have to do another RFP.
Which we're gonna have to do anyway.
We're gonna have to do anything. I'm trying to find out, you look at that RFP for Marston Mills at school, and that is pretty expensive. What I'm trying to find out right now is, was that its own RFP or was that a competitive bid? In other words, was it $150,000 to get that RFP? Or more? I don't know. And I'm trying to find out from the town.
But to get back to, again, this is Article 17 we're talking about, that $165,000. Yeah, 165,822. If we can't use that architect, we would need to bid it. So essentially that 165,822 is circled, and for right now at least could not be used for the school. Is that
So the whole issue,
many members think?
we were cutting that corner by trying to use that to extend the space instead of to
Yes.
include this in the project, which I'm like, not. And was why Carl, going to get a challenge. So I don't think that's a non-issue, I think, at this point, because I don't feel comfortable trying to pursue that any further. I think that we just say, okay, that's obvious, what's now, and we have to do our RFPs for all we're gonna have to do, what's still be done to get anything done over here. So I don't know, I mean, if it's no longer an issue, we're not attempting to do it anymore, then the challenge is no longer, not valid.
Yeah, but nor is the amount.
Well, no, the amount is still, because none of that is tied. When we appropriated that at the district meeting, it was just money that we appropriated for the purpose of. Yeah, but then we said at a meeting, oh, we're going to use. There was no mention of who was going to use, nor was it a mention of the extension of the project.
Here's what it says, that's where I think we're the issue. Upon motion duly made and seconded, the district voted to transfer and appropriate a sum of $207,500 from certified free cash to one, reopen and fund the district space needs project.
Okay, so you reopen and fund it by selecting another architect.
Because then it would be, I mean, then if that is the agreement, the challenge, it would be an issue, because, wouldn't that be so?
That's why the AG said there isn't an issue.
Right, I thought she said it over this.
He said more of it.
I mean, I think whatever is the easiest, we should tap it into the system, so this is the way to go, whether you say, okay, fine. But I don't think we'll have to change the warrant, if we do, we'll just do it, especially if it's reading.
Let's put a.
In it.
But I'm a little more skeptical than you guys are about that. Certainly my predisposition.
I just think that I thought of that at the time as we were trying, I thought it was too close. But we said that, when we said, oh, well, we're gonna need this space, needs something, therefore, you'll be able to use the people who are already, retained to do their mission thing.
Yeah.
But,
Well, when we did this, we were a lot closer to it then.
right,
That was pre-COVID.
yeah, maybe something like that, so who knows? But I think in my opinion, what I think we should do is just drop it one way or the other. But it means doing, just losing that idea, it's like, that's fine, great, that's fine. We have to reappropriate the money and we change the wording in order to reflect that.
All right. You and I are thinking along the same lines. Let's do it. I steal that hard copy. So that's all I have on the school.
Right out of my brain. So along with, I think an environmental study has already been done on the school.
By the town.
Yeah,
Well, the Habib report
the report.
contains at least a partial assessment.
Right, they would be identified.
So, yeah, right. So I'm not sure that we need to repeat. We need to repeat it.
We need to hire an architect to tell us what we.
Right, I think that will all be part and parcel of whatever comes to tell me.
Whatever.
Well, they didn't repeat, environmental report for the Marshall's Mills.
Right.
They had it first, they probably had it from the beat.
Right, and that's probably not, I think. Wouldn't be, did we set money aside specifically for environmental study?
Yeah.
So we can reappropriate that, or shift it, into that bigger number. I don't know, I'm pretty good at all, it's important this meeting, I just hope the school is take the receiver.
Yeah, let's go over there.
Yeah, see what's going on.
So, our next meeting will be August 22nd. After the. And so I don't think the, Civic Association is gonna put out their signs, and I don't think we need to invest in, little signs all over everywhere. Everybody's gonna get a notice in the mail. That should be sufficient.
Excuse me, you just told John Gardner that there's no meeting of the Prudential Committee before August 15th. Are you, do
That's
you
what,
just,
is it August 22nd?
oh, 22nd, I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
August 27th.
Was there any other, but we bring one more time?
Yeah. Sorry. Sorry. Anybody?
I have a question. From your knowledge, beyond the nonprofit interests in demolition, what are the other interested parties in the school, if you're able to share that, for use of the school property?
Well, we're certainly able to share whatever we can. One of the reasons we want to have the August 15th meeting is to determine among the things that have been floated since we started down this path are demolish the building, make it a forest. Turn it into T. Crew was interested in trying to convert it into a new fire building. There was some talk that we could knock the building down and use the site as a new fire building. There was some talk initially as setting it aside as a potential water treatment facility site, should that be needed. But again, these are all kind of like from 2 years ago. One of the purposes of the August 15th meeting are to determine what the fire and water commissioner's current position is on what we can do with that meeting. And of course, I forgot to say that there are some citizens interested in potentially rehabbing the building and using it for some kind of community center.
Right, so there's nothing else in those things really that's been discussed. And specific to the acquisition of the property, with no intense development. That's pretty much what it comes down to here, right?
Exactly. The primary purpose, original, certainly primary purpose of the acquisition was to protect our water supply.
Thank you.
Okay. So, take care of organizing for the
Yes,
chairs and tables.
do you think I can drag fire and, them,
Well, I'm trying to,
not do that?
yeah, I did that last time. Quite honestly, they're not movers and I don't think that's too what happened, but
Maybe I'll find
I don't like to take advantage of it.
it. Of course, I'll take care of it.
Maybe in person.
Yeah.
It has to be, it has to be because of the alarm.
Check out the raccoon.
Yeah, whatever's in.
Great way to break up a meeting fast.
If there's no AC.
That's that too.
We'll have to go observe it.
And there are no windows in that room. Open the door. Okay.
Yes, we have. Public comment.
This is an information meeting on August 15th, again, to inform from the room as much as possible. And it would have to be a special meeting to determine whether it actually happened properly in the future, right?
Yes,
Yeah,
And that would just be scheduled with some future date.
yeah, probably in September. Right, in September. Accept the motion to adjourn.
So
Second.
all in favor.
Bye.
Go, thank you, everybody.
moved.